shitty ex-wife is now dying. How to be there for my adult son despite being bitter. /note to the mods of RA, Reddit simply won't let me make a new /throwaway account. When I prove I am not a robot and click verified, nothing happens. I have tried for 2 days. I hope you will leave this up. I don't give a shit about karma. I just want advice, though I doubt I'm worthy of it after my thoughts that are explained below. Too long didn't read. My ex-wife had 3 boyfriends at the close of our marriage. Then she spent several hours on a couple of occasions comparing me to one of her boyfriends. Several years after the divorce, she is diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer. I'm having a horrible thought that might interfere with my ability to console our adult son. How do I stop being a horrible shithead with bad, horrid thoughts so I can be there for our son, please? I'm disgusting to have this thought. I make myself sick. My ex-wife conducted affairs with 3 guys at the same time at the end of the marriage. She was a manager and fired someone. That someone took revenge and called me to tell me about one guy. She was seeing him on her lunch hour, which, after a bit of trickle truth, served to reveal there were 3 guys. She then spent a few hours, face to face and on the phone on a couple of occasions comparing me to one of the guys she was seeing. This is in addition to her physical and emotional abuse in the marriage. I have a scar and several hospital bills to prove the physical abuse. She also treats our son like shit. She is angry that he is gay. I'm extremely bitter towards her. Now, several years after the divorce, while she is with a 4th man, she has been diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer and wants to talk to me phone. She moved several hours away. He likely has 60 or 90 days left. But I have to be there for our adult son. I have to admit to thinking it couldn't happen to a better person. It's a terrible thing to think, but the though won't leave. I hate that I am such a shithead thinking this. I am disgusted with myself and am struggling with that thought while trying to be there for our son. I'm a horrid disgusting person for this thought, but it won't leave. I'm sick about myself for this and I don't deserve his love, but I need to be there for him. I disgust myself. He deserves a better man for a dad. How do I get rid of this thought? How do I stop being so disgusting? How can I be there for my son while being such a terrible person with such a terrible thought? Should I speak with her on the phone as she requested? Should I tell her she is forgiven, assuming that's what she wants to speak about? She isn't, but I can fake it. Be there for your son. You don't own your ex anything. Also, something someone once told me that really stuck with me. You can't help the thoughts that pop up into your head. They don't mean you actually feel that way. What matters is how you correct yourself in your own mind. That's how you really feel. So you thinking she deserves it, but then correcting yourself and feeling bad you ever dared have that thought, that's who you really are and how you feel. Your ex wants to unburden herself and get your forgiveness. I am not one of those. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, new agers. This woman betrayed you and your family. That means she also betrayed your son. Stop with the self-flagellation. Bitterness, anger and negative thoughts in a situation like this are normal and human, especially about someone this horrible. You can be there for your son and not be a doormat for your vile ex. You don't owe her a fake forgiveness. It might not even make you feel better. But for the sake of your son, the best you can do is not to badmouth her in front of him or anyone who is still connected to her. Let him go through his pain and grief and be there for him. You are validated to your ill feelings and you might need to create a private outlet for that, but don't let that near your son while he's hurting. Hoping the best for you and your son. Thanks. Yes, my private outlet is going to have to wait. It's time to focus on him. To acknowledge this hatred is a powerful step in your own healing. There indeed is the individual who has no hatred for one who has abused them. You're human. Your son is human. You don't need to be on good terms with his mother to be there for him. Just be a human being. Faults, strengths, weaknesses, all of the parts of you, and remember that he is your son. Let him know you love him, and he will very likely do the same. He never knew what she thought of him for being gay. She blamed me for not trying to straighten him out and listed that as one reason for her affairs. She told our son not to come around her because her current SO has no use for gays. I'm certain it's her that has the problem. It's just that, in those moments where I hug him and tell him I am there for him, knowing I had that thought, it feels scummy and disingenuous. It makes me wonder if he can tell. It's okay to have negative thoughts. She treated you horribly, so forgive yourself for the way you think about her now. In every action from this point forward, make sure you are doing the right thing for your son. Keep him and his interests in mind. Focus your energy on him. You don't owe your ex-wife anything, but you are soon going to be all he has left, so show up for him. I, 20F, do not enjoy female oral, but my husband, 25 meters, loves giving it and can't understand why I don't enjoy it. So, apparently many women love oral as foreplay. To me, it feels like a wet slug on my lady bits. He just thinks he must be bad at oral, but I'm convinced I just hate oral. I can't be the only woman who feels this way, or am I being prude? Just because you are female, you don't need to like everything who is a normal fetish. If oral is not what you like, so tell him. I am a female too, and I don't enjoy it. I feel so validated by this post. I personally hate oral and am female too. It's never done anything for me, no matter the partner. I can't get over the insecurities of it possibly smelling and how ticklish I am, on top of it feeling like practically nothing. Makes my boyfriend sad I don't let him do it, but he's pretty much over it after this point. Yep, I'm always so worried it will smell, even though I know my husband doesn't care. And the ticklish thing is so true. A lot of people are saying that perhaps it is him. I hate oral and I have slept with 4 figures of men and women as a sex worker. It is 100% not weird not to enjoy it. Just explain that it isn't really your thing and you'd prefer to do other things that are. I also hate receiving oral, and I have from a decent amount of dudes and ladies. Totally agree. And, like, what the fuck am I supposed to look at? Do I watch the person doing it to me? 'Cause I'm not really into that. And what the heck am I supposed to do with my hands? I'd way rather have the person up by me so I can keep making out with and touching them. I think I'm just more of a giver than a receiver, and not doing anything for my partner is a major turn off. But, also, yeah. Wet slugs. You like what you like. Never do what you don't wanna do. And, if you're trying it and don't like it, don't be afraid to be honest in the moment. Yeah, I'm 100% a giver. I'm not the best at foreplay even because I don't care for fingers down there anything, which is part of why my husband wants to give oral, so we're doing more foreplay, but that isn't my thing. Embarrassed smiley face. Hey, think it's totally okay. My boyfriend loves giving me oral sex as well, and I don't enjoy it at all. I think people may just like different things, and it's okay. I'm very attracted to my boyfriend, and I love when he pleases me in other ways, but oral is just not for me. My 24F boyfriend, 28M, told me to get a paternity test when I told him I was pregnant. I've been in a relationship with Nico for 3 years now, and we were discussing plans to move in together later this year and becoming engaged by next year. We were always very open and commutative when it came to our relationship and never had any big problems besides the petty argument here and there. I found out I was pregnant about a week ago and was super scared because my career is just taking off now and I'm not emotionally or financially ready to have a baby. I told Nico the day after I found out, since I was meeting him in person. I never thought he would be ecstatic or anything about the pregnancy, however he just looked at me and asked me to get a paternity test. I was shocked and hurt that he would suggest I was sleeping with anyone else. It grew into a huge fight where I asked him why he didn't trust me to even ask me that. He said he did trust me and didn't think I was a cheater, but he was not ready for a kid, and if there's a chance that it's not his kid, he wanted to be sure because he was not taking care of it if it's not his. This logic doesn't make any sense to me though, because if he trusted me, then why is there any doubt that the kid isn't his? I went to him to see what we can do together and get over it together, but instead I feel like I was just slapped. I'm not even sure if I want to be with him anymore due to this. 3 years together and this is what he thinks of me. Also, throughout the week I've been having second thoughts on aborting the baby as well. I'm so scared I'll regret it later and miss my baby, but Nika keeps insisting on the test first before conversations about it, since he's not sure if it's his yet. One thing you should consider is if waiting for the paternity test will make it too late to get an abortion. You're only 24. You don't feel ready for a kid. The father is being aggressively awful about not wanting the kid. Seems like keeping the baby would give a lot more cause for regret than waiting for a better situation to have a wanted baby. These are two different topics. 1. Do you want to keep the baby? That's your decision. 2. Do you want Nico to be part of your life? The fact that he would immediately question paternity makes me think he's looking to bolt. Do you want that uncertainty and unreliability in your life? Think long and hard about it before you make the choice. You've already confirmed neither of you are ready for the baby. I can tell you from personal experience, as I was a single mom at 23, it is incredibly difficult and your career very well may need to take a backseat if you're unable to afford childcare. It is outrageously expensive, and don't have help from him, family etc. Not to mention, confirming the paternity and putting him on the birth certificate will legally bind you for the next 2 decades to someone who tried to get out of raising this baby immediately. Odds are he's not intending on doing his best to provide and be a family. I'd never regret having my little one, because being a parent is an indescribable gift, but I'd never wish single motherhood on anyone. It's emotionally, physically, socially and financially draining. Hi, I'm just here to say that when I got an abortion I knew immediately that I didn't want to carry the pregnancy to term and had absolutely no regrets with getting an abortion. When you don't want to be pregnant, you won't suddenly regret it when you get an abortion. That's just what pro-birthers want you to think, so you doubt yourself. If that's what you want, you'll only feel immense relief. I just want to add, it may not be so straightforward for you, either. I am vehemently pro-choice. But my own termination was not easy on me despite my having no doubt whatsoever what I wanted to do. I felt both relief and guilt. If you also find that your feelings are far more complex than you thought they would be, know that you aren't alone, and also know that doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision. Sometimes the best choice is a painful one. Heart. Paternity tests aren't that cheap. I'd say make him buy it if he's so worried it's not his.